Emilio's Ballato is a legendary old school New York City red sauce joint, and it happens to be my favorite Italian restaurant in New York. And they are famous for many things. Their Via Antonio, their chicken scapriello wings, and of course their bolognese sauce. But one of the sneakiest, greatest items on their menu that most people overlook is their pork chop with cherry peppers. Hands down the juiciest, most tender, most flavorful pork chop I have ever had. And I've got the scoop on how to make it. This is Emilio Ballato's pork chop with cherry peppers. And it starts 3 days ago. Now I know what you're saying, Steve, 3 days earlier? You could do this 2 days, you could do this 1 day, hell, you could do this the day of. I'm trying to just tell you how the best place that makes this does it, and it does it for about 3 days. And so it starts with a brine, and it's an interesting one. First up, we're gonna need about 4 cups of water. Pour it straight into a small little pot. Now a brine mainly consists of salt and water. Now the amount of salt is a percentage of the amount of water you put in. And you could do 2 to 6. If you're curing things, it goes higher. We're going to go with 6%. I like my stuff salty. So we're gonna add in a 1/4 cup of kosher salt and an equal amount of sugar, 1/4 cup of sugar. We're gonna throw in a bay leaf, some black peppercorns, take a clove of garlic. We're just gonna smash that open, toss it in. And one of the things I ask Anthony, my friend at Emilio's Ballato, the chef, how does the pork from the inside taste like cherry peppers? And it's because he brines it in the cherry pepper juice. So we're gonna measure out 1 cup of this juice. Hopefully we got enough. Get that cup in there. And then we're gonna take some of the cherry peppers and add those in. All this stuff's gonna get strained out eventually. Now we're just gonna get this onto the stove. Gonna bring that up to a simmer. Keep it stirring just until those flavors are combined, and most importantly, till the sugar and the salt is dissolved. At this point, it should smell like cherry pepper vinegar. And if you wave your nostril over it and it doesn't kind of sting your nostrils, maybe add a little bit more of that cherry pepper liquid. That flavor is gonna get inside the pork, and that's gonna be the secret to why this is so good. Now, I just like to let it cook for a little bit. Once it comes up to a boil, let all those flavors seep into that brine. Then what we can do is take it off the heat and just allow it to kind of come down to room temperature, cool down. Some people add ice to it, but you run the risk of like throwing off the salt ratio. So what we're gonna do, just pour this in, straining out all of that good stuff. Just wanna squeeze all that flavor in there. Now this has to go into the fridge and completely chill. Now our brine is nice and cool. It's ready for our pork to be introduced to it. And here, we got a double cut pork chop. It's a beauty. You don't need a double cut. This works with a single cut, whatever. But if you can find a double cut, why not? Now, one thing I'd like to do before we get going here is we've got quite a thick fat cap. I don't really want all of that fat, so what I'm gonna do is just trim down a bit of it. It's just a ton of fat. Now, that's good stuff, you should keep that. Now, I told you the secret to the brine, but the other secret Anthony at Emilio's uses is he doesn't just simply drop it in there, he injects it. So we're gonna use one of these culinary syringes and inject that brine into the pork and then soak it into the brine. So first up, we're gonna stick our guy in here and suck up some brine. And so basically, I like to come in at the side, in the middle. I'm gonna go all the way in, and then as I pull out, I'm gonna squeeze the brine. Don't go too hard or else it'll squirt out. Then I'm gonna go up a little bit more, same thing. Again, and then the top quadrant of it, same thing. Start to see it seeping out the pores. And then we add the pork chop. Now this is going to bathe in this brine in the refrigerator for 3 days. If you don't got 3 days, 2 days. You don't got 2 days, 1 day, or just do it the same day. And if you do it the same day, just jack up all the flavors in there. Make it more potent, knowing it's gonna spend less time in it, and see how well you can fare. Into the fridge, and I'll see you in 3 days. So now this pork chop has been bathing for 3 days, and all I did this morning was take it out of the brine, place it on paper towel, place it in the fridge, and just begin to sort of dry off that excess surface moisture to prepare it to be cooked. But this thing should have a ton of flavor, a good amount of salt, and basically taste like cherry pepper all the way through. Now to go with the pork chop is the cherry pepper sauce. And just like he makes his scapriello wings, it starts with cherry peppers. And I used a different brand to brine the pork chop. After some consideration, the most widely available and best tasting brine for this is gonna be Cento. I think most people can get this, and this is gonna be the best flavor. We're gonna use this liquid to make essentially like a cherry pepper beurre blanc. There's vinegar in here. We're gonna reduce that down, cook it in some sliced garlic, and then mount the whole thing with cold butter and bring it all together. So all I wanna do is cut up my garlic and portion up my cherry peppers. I like to just split the cloves in half. Makes removing the paper pretty painless. They just sort of peel off. And then like we normally do, we wanna just slice it very thin. And then as far as the cherry pepper, for like a single pork chop this big, we're gonna need about a cup of the cherry pepper liquid. It looks like one of these jars is about 3/4 of a cup, but that's fine. Then I'm gonna take some of the cherry peppers, I'm gonna get them in there because we're gonna cook them with that. Now I love cherry peppers, so to me this is like the ideal way to make a pork chop. But if you don't love heat so much, you can kind of scale down the amount of cherry peppers you add. But it's not just heat we're going for acidity, so that brine is actually pretty important. Looks like I got a little bit more liquid. I'm gonna try and get it all out. I like plenty in there. Now outside of these two ingredients, all we're gonna need is butter. Simple in ingredients and theory, huge impact in flavor and deliciousness. Now, before we cook it, if you like delicious stuff like this, you gotta check out my cooking school over on Patreon. This was our first month. We had 2 lessons and a live stream where I reviewed everyone's homework, and it was a blast. Lots of learning, and it's a much freeing environment for me to make videos and interact with you guys. If you're interested, the link to the cooking school is down in the description. Join me in making the most elite class of home cooks the world's ever seen. Now let's cook this pork chop. First up, we're gonna get a saute on about medium-high heat, and we're gonna allow that to preheat. And I've also got my oven preheated to 450 degrees. I'm just gonna take a paper towel and blot off any excess moisture off the surface of the pork. And once that pan's hot, I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of olive oil, just enough to lightly coat the bottom of the pan. Now carefully, I'm gonna place that pork chop onto the pan and gently press down with my hand to make sure that meat closest to the bone makes contact with the oil and the pan. And then you just wanna leave that alone and allow that to develop a nice golden brown color on one side. You can see we're starting to develop a little brown underneath that edge on the bone, so it's giving me an indication there should be some color, so we take a peek. There's a little bald spot where that bone is, which usually happens to a pork chop this big on the bone, but we're just gonna kind of pull that oil off to the edge, try and get as much color on there as possible. Once it's nicely browned, we can go ahead and give it a flip. Now I'm just gonna lower the heat. It's looking like that oil's getting a little bit too hot, and we wanna control that, right? And on that flip side, where that pale spot is a little bit, I'm just gonna take a spoon and just start basting that bald spot with that oil and try and brown it from the heat of the oil that's circulating on top of that pork chop. Once you got both those sides nice and brown, I'm just gonna turn it and start to fry up some of that fat cap that's along the edge of the pork chop. Once everything is nicely brown, we can take it out of the pan, transfer it to a sizzle platter, and I'm gonna stick a thermometer in and monitor the internal temperature of the pork. Then we're just gonna toss that pork chop into the oven, set the internal temperature to 132, and then pull it out till it carryover cooks to 145. Now we're about to hit our internal temperature that we're looking for after cooking. Now we're gonna pull the pork chop out of the oven and allow it to carry over cook till about 145 degrees. Now while that rests, we're ready to prepare our sauce. In the pan used to sear the pork chop, we're gonna get it back onto a medium heat and we're gonna add in a knob of butter. Get that butter melted, and once it's melted, we're gonna go in and add in our sliced garlic. Hit them with a touch of salt and then allow them to get coated in that butter. Allow them to soften up, become fragrant, and slightly golden around the edges. Once your garlic is nicely cooked, we're gonna go in and add in our cherry peppers along with that cherry pepper liquid. We're gonna bring that up to a simmer, and then we're going to reduce that down into almost something closer to a syrupy glaze. And one way to tell how reduced your sauce is, take a spatula and to just run your spatula across the surface of the pan. And you can tell how thickened and reduced the sauce is by how long you can see the pan before the sauce cascades and covers it again. You can see now it's still a little flowy. We want to take it a little bit longer. Now it looks like our pork has rested to its final temperature. That's ready to be sliced and served. We'll go and test our sauce again. As you can see, this is the thickness we're looking for. It's nicely reduced and that flavor's nice, strong, and concentrated. Now to finish it, we're gonna take some cubes of cold butter, turn off the heat, and stir that butter in. Allow it to cool that sauce down, emulsify with the sauce, balance out that kind of spicy acidity a bit, and kind of just make it a nice glazy consistency. And once all that butter's melted, you should be ready to go. Now all we have to do is cut it off the bone, slice it into strips, get it onto the plate, and douse it in that wonderful cherry pepper sauce. And now New York City is filled with many incredible dishes. And I'm sure there's many great pork chops, but there are none more tender, more flavorful. There's beautiful acidity and spiciness that you run through the entire pork chop. This dish is one of a kind. And if you want to make this, the recipe's going to be down in the description. That's all that I have today. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourself and go feed yourself.